What's clearly becoming too much to handle? Internet accounts, like I have at least a couple dozen email, text, social media, school, work, etc. accounts I'm always getting regular messages from, and people get pissy when I don't respond immediately. WTF, man. When I was a kid, all you had to check was physical mail and answering machine. Took a minute or two a day at most, and responding the next day was completely acceptable. Codge down, I hate how expected our availability has become. Sometimes I just want to go get stoned and fall asleep in the woods and not deal with the world for 24 hours. Is that really such a crime? Gas, groceries, and other basic needs. In 2018, my income allowed me to save a little for retirement. It was enough to keep the wolves away from the door, keep my debts going down, and even have occasional fun things. Now I'm stretched to my limit. My debts are growing, my savings are vanishing. I'm making $2 an hour more and looking at my paycheck doing less each week. I should not be in this position. The economy is deeply skewed in favor of a select few. But I am part of actual productive society. People acting out in ways that affect others because they're offended. If you're offended, that's your choice. Don't take it out on others. You're an adult. Act like it. AKA riots, violence towards different political parties, hate speech, all of it. It's ourselves. If we came together despite differences, despite beliefs, and accepted each other for their differences, what a world we could have. We have so much power and don't even see it. Politics in general, the divisiveness in our country, our education system, immigration, the world in general, and our freaking economy. All of this, along with many other components, simmer down if I didn't list a myriad of our other dumpster fires, have turned people into absolute basket cases. We're treating each other horribly and losing hope. This overburdening sense of non-stop bad news. Our news channels, but I also feel like we're being constantly inundated with fear to keep us appreciating the very small moments, like having a job or a house, which should be a given and not a luxury. Car-centrism. We stretch ourselves so thin, and for what? We dump so many resources into a way of life that is outdated, and we know better alternatives exist. Obviously, we don't expect the middle of Montana to change. But there is no reason the more populated areas can't reform and implement public transport. Dr. bills. Just this week, I discovered it's okay for doctor to bill me for a hospital service when it was just an office visit. Because the doctor is affiliated with a hospital system, they can bill an off-campus claim even though it's not in a hospital or outpatient hospital. WTF. COVID fucked up the social fabric somehow. I don't know how to explain it, but ever since everyone came out of lockdown, people are just meaner, less social, more distant, more self-centered and rude. It's a vibe. I can't quite explain it, but it sucks. The price of everything. Not sure how true it is, but I read an article yesterday that said a single person needs to make $94K to live comfortable these days. I'm quite a bit off from that, whereas several years ago I would have made decent money. AI. Specifically video and audio AI. There are some good applications of the technology, and I think the negative scenarios outweigh them. You can't imagine a future where these are going to be used to extort people and ruin careers. Not saying anything to annoying people in public, like take a step back from me in line, stop being so loud, etc. It's like we're embarrassed to say something to people who should be embarrassed themselves. AI. Its growth is exponential. Within a couple years it will be multiple times more powerful than it is now. Almost every person you talk to working on its development is worried about what it's capable of. Cost of dining out. Last night I took my daughter out. She had chicken fingers and fries. The chicken fingers were $13, and the side of fries was $8, then each soda was $6.50. It was insane. As in government, the economy, the growing number of genders, to declining number of marriage, and of course whatever the hell woke I continue. IMO monthly subscriptions, not just streaming services, software, games and even vehicle features. It's like the Embis from MBB have their hands in everything now. The assumption that you must be available 24/7. Everyone has a phone, so home must always be there for people. If your online means you can reply, obviously yes. Indoctrination. Algorithmically selected feeds catering to our interests are reinforcing our differences without reference to commonality and shared values. People who are arrogant enough to think they have a right to never ever be offended or have their views challenged, and would rather cancel than debate. Expectations from society, from the people around you, from people on the internet, from governments. Expect less. You'll be less disappointed. Sense of urgency around text call responses now that we're all tethered to our phones, even if it's not an urgent matter. People's attitudes and lack of politeness. Come on, everybody. For example, driving is legitimately impossible these days. Remembering all my passwords. I have a password app, but it's a hassle at times. I wish all my accounts just knew me. To pollinate because companies use insane levels of fertilizer so they can stay employed, then trimming. Your mum. Me and 3 of the guys in line had to use a winch and an F-250 to get down those pants. The UK economy fucking us over at every single element of life. It's as bad as I ever remember it. Inflation. The cost to eat a meal at a restaurant, any restaurant, is crazy right now. Hatted towards one another's beliefs or lifestyle, anything between. Social media. Catch cute cats. The government doesn't care about us, and we just let it slide. Flight attendants not being paid for boarding and sit time. Islamists in Europe, in the Nordic nations in particular. Life and the fact pay goes down and everything costs more. Vigor, the master of evil. He's also too cold to hold.